Hi, good morning. I hope you're having a good day so far today. For me, I think today is once again going to be another busy day. But as for the video and as for what else I'm going to be getting up to, I think I'm not entirely sure on this yet. But at this very moment, because when I repotted the bell peppers, the sriracha peppers and the bell peppers, I realized how much bigger they were than I thought that they are. So because of that, I'm thinking that today might be a good day to repot the dill. I know they're still very tiny, so I don't know if I'm going to be getting up to that just because the peppers looked so tiny in the container that was the same size as this one until I repotted them, and now they're like really big and already growing and filling up that container completely that I moved them into. It's not that much bigger still than the one that they were, well, I mean, it's like 4 times the size as the one that they're in. It's a like, what is it, an 8-ounce cup I think that they're in now. But anyway, because they filled up that entire space and I was planning on putting both plants into one cup and they needed to have separate ones, because of that, I'm thinking about these guys needing to be repotted too. I'm also planning on keeping these guys inside, but there is a slight thought in the back of my mind that I might move them outside just because everyone who I've been moving outside is doing so well. So we might be upgrading, I guess, the dill plant today and moving the little one around and seeing how it goes. Again, that might not happen. That's just what I'm thinking of at this current moment. I also need to get a little bit of knitting done, finish that square that I was working on yesterday, and hopefully maybe crochet today too, because I wanted to yesterday, but did not have time for that, unfortunately. But I did get a lot more knitting done than I was expecting, so that was exciting. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to be getting up to for today. I don't know though, we will figure it out in a little bit. But as for right now, I just wanted to say good morning, and I hope you're having a good day so far today, and I'll see you in a second with whatever I end up getting up to. I finally have some time today. It has been a very busy day for me, but I am going to repot, like I showed you earlier this morning, the little dill into a bigger container. This is the same size that I moved the bell pepper plants into a couple of days ago when I brought them outside. Little guys don't want to come out of their container. There we go. I wanted to move them because the bell peppers were way bigger than I thought that they were once I moved them into a container, and these guys also look like they are ready to be in an upgraded size. So it's very exciting that things are growing so much to already need to be put into a different container. Again, I'm probably going to keep these little guys inside. I'll give them some water in a little bit and then plant some other dill seeds outside, hopefully next week, honestly. I'm not entirely sure, but I would like to at least get those seeds started outside next week because the package says to start them outside after it's my goodness, that was a lot of birds. But the package says to start them outside, so that's what I'm planning on doing with the other seeds. These are just going to be a little indoor dill plant. And then these, if you don't like seeing plant roots, look away right now because it's in a cup of water and you can very easily see the roots. But these are some trimmed pothos that I am propagating from the plant that's in the center and the one over there, like that plant I did last year. And it's time to move them from water into soil, so I'm going to drain out this water because it needs to be changed anyway. I'm going to keep them in the same container. I was going to put them in something different, but I think this container will be perfect for today because, you know, it's what I have. But I'm going to add some soil to these guys because, again, if you don't like seeing roots, all the white that's towards the bottom of the plants those are all roots. So yeah, they definitely are ready to be in soil now. They're doing great in water, but it's time for them to go into soil. But let me drain this water real quick because it's a week old and it gets a little bit gross after a little bit of time. So gonna change their water, add some soil, and then they will be able to start growing quite a bit because those little guys back there, once I put them into soil, they definitely really started growing. But yeah, 1 second. I forgot to do this, if you're wondering. I would have before, but it completely just like didn't even enter my mind. I'm still keeping them in a lot of water, by the way, because they are used to being in a lot of water. So until they get like their soil roots, they're gonna be very, very watered down in the soil until they get used to it, and then they'll be happy in just soil and be able to not need as much water, which will be good. But for right now, they need all the water that they can get because that's what they have been used to living in. I'll actually probably add a little bit more water because the soil absorbed quite a bit of that. There we go. And also you can now look because the roots are mostly covered in soil and they look so cute in there. Hopefully they do well. You never know when you're transitioning plants from being hydroponic into soil. Same with the dill. Hopefully this little one does well too, because I tried dill last year and didn't do very well with it. It lasted maybe about a month. So yeah, we'll see how that little one does. But so far they're doing much better than they did last year, honestly. They're still tiny, but they have more leaves on them than they did last year. But anyway, this little guy is ready. So I'm gonna put them in the window and get this little guy some water, put the soil back away, and then I will be right back to start knitting and hopefully crocheting too. All right, now it is time to get started knitting, and I think I have 6 more rows today, so I doubt that I am going to be crocheting, but you never know. This might go a lot faster than I think it will. That should be a little bit better. I just turned the lighting down a little bit because it seemed a little bit bright. But anyway, as for today, it has been very busy, but very fun. Like getting ready for Easter this weekend, because I didn't realize until yesterday that it was this weekend, so it's a little bit more soon than I was expecting it to be, but it did make for a very busy day. Besides that though, it was just normal. I did not get a chance to play Animal Crossing and collect more eggs though. I did want to, but I didn't have any time today, sadly, but at least I was able to collect quite a few yesterday. I only need the sky eggs, so because I only have 2 of those, so hopefully I'll be able to get those from other villagers like on the day if I need them, but I honestly don't think I will. Sorry, there are a ton of birds flying around outside and it's very distracting right now. It was a lot colder today than I was expecting it to be, which was kind of disappointing, and cloudy, which was also disappointing, but I still brought the pepper and tomato plants outside for the day because it's still warm enough for them. It's just, you know, cold for me, but I think that they are very happy out there. I mean, they definitely look happy. It's not freezing or anything. It's just, you know, colder than I was expecting it to be, which was very disappointing. And by the way, I am so glad that I brought them inside yesterday because yeah, it was definitely a thunderstorm. I was kind of getting a little bit annoyed because I was gonna think that it was going to just go around us, but no, it was definitely a thunderstorm, and it was, yeah. It was very heavily raining and thundering. They absolutely needed to be inside during that. Again, Maple Tree is still outside. I'll show you how the little ones are doing tomorrow because I haven't given you an update on them in a bit, and you know, a lot has changed with the little Maple Tree, so I want to show you the little one tomorrow, hopefully. But obviously little Maple Tree was out there during the storm and they're fine. They're a bit more sturdy than the tomato and pepper plants, a lot more sturdy than the tomato and pepper plants. And after this row, I'm going to count what we are on because I don't keep track as I'm knitting, so I need to make sure that we're not going to knit too many because that would be super annoying. I'm pretty sure one of them is 1 row too short and another one might be 1 row too long, but I don't want it to be like way too many rows because that would be, or way too little of course, because that would look very noticeable. But I don't think that the ones that are the 1 row off are gonna make that big of a difference. I honestly couldn't tell you which ones they are. I would have to actually pick them up and like count the rows, but I am not going to do that because it takes a little bit of time to do. 24. Okay, we have 1 more row and then cast the stitches off, of course, and then this one is complete. So we have finished, or we will be finishing, a square today. But also I wanted to say when I got the rest of my petunia seeds out to start those the other day, um, I saw my blue pumpkin seeds next to them, and then it reminded me of the blue pumpkins that I was trying to grow last year, and I planted those way too late in the season. I'm pretty sure it was like at the end of August or something when I started that little seed. I started 2 seeds outside and then 2 seeds inside, and I moved the ones that were inside to the earth next to the other pumpkin plants after they had sprouted and grown quite a few leaves actually, but the ones that I sprouted inside did not make it. So I only had one little pumpkin plant outside until the gardening season was over, but because I started them too late in the season, they never actually had time to grow a pumpkin. It was actually, you know, pretty close. I thought there for a while that we were actually gonna get one, but unfortunately we never did. So this year, as you know, I am kind of having more of a container garden. I don't know if pumpkins can grow in a container. I'm gonna have to look this up, but I am thinking about starting a little pumpkin seed in a container and just putting the container outside, not bringing it inside at night or anything like the tomato plants and pepper plants that I've been bringing in. This little one will just be sprouting outside in a container of soil and see if it sprouts. I might do that like this week. I might do it tomorrow, honestly, or next week. I'm not entirely sure, but I would definitely like to. Again, I have no idea if pumpkin plants can grow in a container, but I would really like to try again and see if I can get a blue pumpkin. I know they're massive plants too once they start growing, so I'll definitely have to trim the little plant quite a bit, so I don't know if that would make it better for growing a pumpkin or make it more difficult, but I would like to try. Whether or not we get a pumpkin, it will be worth trying because I'm honestly kind of curious if I can actually grow a pumpkin plant just in a container, and then if it grows a pumpkin, that would be even more cool. This is the last little stitch of this square, so we finished a knit square today. And because we finished this little square, we get to officially start a new little row of blue, which is kind of really cool. So now after the one more knit square and 2 granny squares, it will be a official square. Still definitely not big enough to be a blanket, but it is something. I don't know what it's gonna be. I think by the time it's finished, because this is how much yarn we have left, I think by the time that it is finished, it will be a blanket size, just a smaller blanket, which I'm perfectly fine with, because sometimes you just need a small blanket and that's the perfect size thing for just a little bit of warmth. But anyway, that is gonna do it for the video today, so I hope you enjoyed it, and way more importantly, I hope you have a good day today, no matter what you're doing. If it's a lot or a little, it doesn't matter. I just hope you have a good day. And yeah, as for tomorrow, I would like to give you an update on Maple Tree, the tomato and pepper plants that are outside, even though I'll be bringing them inside at night still. They are technically my garden plants, so I would like to show you how they're doing, because they are definitely, they're really growing a lot this week. So I'm excited to show you how they're doing, and also maybe, is a big maybe, but I might start a little pumpkin seed tomorrow. Just out of pure curiosity to see if it'll even grow in a container. I have no idea, but it's worth a try. You just never know unless you try, so I think it'll be worth it, and it'll be fun to see. Again, don't really expect it to grow very big, but it would be awesome if it did. But anyway, I'm gonna go for today, so thank you again so much for taking time out of your day to spend it with me, and I will see you tomorrow with the next video. Bye! I'll see you later!